Hi, this is Rick from For Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. There's lots of talk about becoming great, standing out. I'm a life coach. I'm a coach. I help people dream forward sometimes. I mean, in addition to everything else that I do some of the stuff. I love working on myself. I don't know if I say I love it. It's a lot of work, but I like working on myself. I like dreaming. I like getting my head into where I'm going to be in 5 years or whatever. However, just a second. Sometimes all of that talk about moving forward, dreaming forward, making our life better, sometimes it's just a lot of hot air, by the way. Living a great and fulfilling life doesn't need to look spectacular or glamorous. And sometimes living a life that looks glamorous and spectacular, it actually it's not fulfilling and it's really not great. I want to look at Proverbs chapter 12, verse 9 and verse 11. And I want to talk a little bit about living a life that is normal. Here we go. Proverbs 12, 9 and 11. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be self-important but have no food. Verse 11. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. For this video, I'm going to use these two proverbs to try to sell you on the idea of the greatness of being ordinary. I've broken these two proverbs down into 4 parts to help build my case that, it's great to be normal. First of all, I want us to own the idea that facade is tempting. Going with the parts of the text that say self-important but have no food. A person who chases fantasies has no sense. Generally, as I look at these two proverbs, the problem being pointed out here seems to be relatively simple. Someone is projecting greatness at the expense of actual resources. Someone is projecting a lifestyle and attitude of wealth and importance, but they have no wealth and they have no real importance. Someone is deceiving themselves that their facade is sustainable and identifies them as significant and special, but they're generally a fraud. They're living a lie. But the problem is that the lie is attractive. The lie actually works. So let's not talk about the person who's actually living the facade. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about me. Because the proverb isn't written to the fraud. The fraud isn't listening. It's written to you and I, the listeners, the wisdom seekers. Let's be real that life is hard. The text says a hard worker. Here's how I'm thinking this one through. As you and I journey through life, we tend to be attracted by those people with the greatest looking stuff, like the great looking lifestyles with the expensive cars and maybe boats and maybe toys. For me, I get distracted by guys with cool motorcycles, maybe multiple pinball tables in their house. That's pretty cool. A big rec room for their kids, a fireplace where I could roast marshmallows and stay inside. That sounds pretty cool for me. What about you? Do people who go on a lot of vacations, drive expensive cars, go out for dinner a lot? Is that what generally gets your attention? Does the title CEO or president get your attention? Here's the reality of our life. We work really hard and we often don't have the shiny and the plastic and the bright chrome to show for it. If life has to be so hard, why can't it look just a little bit nicer? And I think in part, this is why the fraud kind of gets our attention and the shiny kind of gets our attention as we're looking at what we think is a sign of success. We start feeling badly about ourselves. We think that we're less. We don't have the cool stuff, the lifestyle, the status, or level the other person has. We just have the work, which is why this fraud works on us. Someone projects what we want and they make it look easy and it works. We think they're special. And maybe we're tempted to lose our senses and pursue the facade alongside them and end up just as resourceless and empty as them. I would argue that sustainability is far better The text says, better to be an ordinary person. And it also says, a hard worker has plenty of food. There is nothing wrong with being normal and not flaunting your stuff. If it's on show, it's not in your bank account. If it's on show, it's not in your cupboards ready to be eaten for your next meal. If it's on show, it looks like credit card debt, lines of credit, car payments, and other payment plans. If it's on show, you don't got that dough. If it's on show, you don't got that dough. I mean, it rhymes, so it's got to be true, right? Living a life of common sense means you're experiencing stability that the showy person may not be. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's something wrong with people who drive nice cars, nice boats, nice bikes. I don't think it's wrong for somebody to have shiny, nice stuff. Not all. I ride a Harley. I get guys walking up to me sometimes just talking like we're friends just because of the Harley that I have. It's something nice. It's something shiny. And I'm not mad at myself for having something nice and shiny. Nice and shiny may not be a problem for others. But you know what? It really doesn't matter whether it is or not a problem for others. That's not your problem. Your problem may be the temptation by the comparison that pushes you to overextending your resources and becoming nothing more than a facade. Please don't do that. It's just not worth it. I would like to suggest for you and for me to be common sense normal. There's nothing wrong with being normal. Just live the best story that you've got to live. You got a lot of story to live, but you're going to miss it if you're distracted by someone else's shiny stuff. Don't be tempted to overextend yourself to live a plastic, hollow life that's a little pretty on the outside, but hungry and hollow and insecure and depressing on the inside. If it's on show, you don't got that dough. If it's on show, you don't got that dough. Yes, I am slightly impressed with myself by coming up with a cool rhyme. Be your normal. Be common sense normal, because common sense normal is actually awesome. So here's the takeaway. I really like my cool phrase, so I'm going to say it one more time in a moment. Don't be tempted to overextend yourself, risking your sustainability. Live a normal life. Living a normal life is awesome. We don't really need the title CEO. We don't need the flashy stuff. We don't need the shiny stuff. We need it where it counts. We need it where our values are. Our value. We need to be pursuing our value for Jesus, our value for family, and our value for life. That's the stuff that we need. That's the stuff where it really counts. We don't need all that flashy stuff that's kind of empty. Don't be tempted to overextend yourself, risking your sustainability for no good reason at all. Live a normal life. If it's on show, you don't got that dough, and that's risking your sustainability. So live a normal life. It's okay. It's awesome to be normal. Well, that's it from me to you. For now, would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? Would you also please ask for the link? We meet 2 times, once at 1:30 and once at 6:30 for community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God.